And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to Season 8 Oreo Truck Series as we are getting ready here for race number 15 of the season, chase race number 5. Yes, after today we'll be past the midway point of the chase for the championship, getting ready for what will be the final 5 races of the chase before we determine our Season 8 champion. We are here at what's got to be probably one of my all-time favorite road courses. We are at Lime Rock Raceway, and this track has always brought about great racing, no matter what series is running here, and always brought about really great finishes too. We are getting ready here for today's race, though, and we are getting ready for 15 laps of racing as well. Stephen Pollard III finds himself on the pole position. Now, remember the last time, well, no, it was the next to last time these guys were at a road course back at Montreal. Stephen Pollard III had a great run there. I think he finished top 5. Starting on the pole for this race, we'll see if maybe he can come away with his first win of the season. Alongside of him is going to be Retro Enterprises rookie Nick Smith. Nick comes into this race 23rd in points. He's also still looking for his first win of the season. Same can be said for the drivers lining up in row number 2. Andreas Allen starting off from 3rd. Allen hasn't been to victory lane since last season at Infineon. Allen will be looking to try and pick up his second road course series win in 2 seasons, and alongside of him, Levi McIntyre, who was a winner last season, has yet to go to victory lane yet this season, though battling for the championship also in Mobile and Snickers, but this has just been his Achilles heel of a series as he comes into this race right now 35th in the point standings. He'll look to try and get his season at least on a little bit better of a level, at least get to victory lane before the season runs out. Now, there's one thing that I'm going to have to say here before we get going, and that's because I don't think I ever have actually had a full pace lap at Lime Rock before, or if I had, something screwy happened since the last time I did it, because, take a look here, Jessica Villanueva is going to be starting off from the turn 1 area. Now, don't ask me why, but she is, and I think she's going to be somewhere like 21st, 23rd, somewhere in that area. So these drivers are going to have to move by her around this windy road course before we get to the green flag. So it's going to be kind of crazy. But anyway, enough talk. Let's get these cars or these trucks rolling off. We'll show you your starting lineup on the top of your screen. Your chasers are highlighted in yellow, and speaking of your chasers, we're going to give you now where they are in the point standings coming into today's race at Lime Rock, as they're going to gingerly try and make their way by the Jessica Villanueva machine, so enjoy watching that too. LJ Mills comes in as the points leader, Eric and Rage in second, so right now rookies are holding the top 2 spots in the points, and Rage is only 2 points back from LJ Mills as well. Sean Galligan, our winner from Chicagoland, he is 3rd in points, 9 points out. John Cittadino is 4th in the point standings, only 10 points out of the top spot, and Charles Jackson's only 18 points out in 5th. So those 5 really close together today. We could see some changes in the point standings as far as the top 5 after today's race at Lime Rock. Caleb Farrell, he is 6th in the point standings. He's 26 points back. Chris Washer is 7th in points. He is a total of 34 points back. Dylan Poteet would be 39 points out in 8th, and then Jessica Shelton, Alex Pedro, Carson Gum, and Luke Walker. Those drivers are going to really need to get some good runs here to be able to get themselves back up in the hunt for the championship, and they still have not made their way around Jessica Villanueva. Actually, she may actually be starting off from 4th. I don't know. Whatever the case, it's the way it is. And actually, I just thought the reason that they're actually starting kind of wonky as opposed to last season, I just realized we ended up using the bus stop last season. This season, we're not. They're not going to have to worry about that bus stop that you saw them bypassing there over on the back half of this road course. So that's going to be a big factor into this, too. These drivers not going to have to really worry about it, and it looks like now Jessica Villanueva is going to be giving a lot of spots away here on the front straightaway. But we're getting ready to go green. Stephen Pollard III, Nick Smith, Andreas Allen, Levi McIntyre, even James McLeod and Zach Buchanan, the top 6 have not been to victory lane. Will it happen today? Green flag is out here at Lime Rock. And then to turn 1, Nick Smith got himself a nice jump, and he's going to go to the point. Nick Smith going to go to the lead. Got a nice run through the middle of the corner there of 1, but now here comes Stephen Pollard III right back. Whoa, got a little loose in that corner, did the 16. Can Nick clear him? He does. Nick Smith, very nicely done to get by. Take a look at this kind of a flyby camera. Can't really see very much of it, so never mind. Battles on for second, though. Stephen Pollard III. Oh, slips up there. Nice save. Wow. James McLeod going to get to his inside as well as Levi McIntyre. Steven having a little bit of difficulty with his pole-sitting truck here in the early stages. So McLeod will take over third place. Levi McIntyre now looking for fourth. Let's see if there's been any advance by Andreas Allen on trying to run down Nick Smith. Doesn't matter. Caution flags out for the first time here today, and quite honestly, I can't say I'm surprised, because it's Lime Rock. Lime Rock usually has a wreck at the beginning with the double wide formation, because it's not exactly a road course that has a whole lot of racing room either. It's more a precision track than it is a track of trying to get runs and make moves. So Nick Smith going to lead us under our first yellow, and let's see who was involved in this one. Oh, Dylan Young involved in it in the 84. Drew Austin's on pit road, but you can't see him through the tree. Is there damage on Charles Jackson? That's fifth in points. I'm seeing some damage on the right side of his machine, but I guess he might be okay. I don't know if anybody else further up may have gotten into it or not. It looks like everybody else might be okay. So for the most part, it looks like maybe 3 trucks at the most involved. Drew Austin and Dylan Young having to teleport to pit road as a result of it. And we'll see if the leaders are going to come down here and pit this time around. I doubt it, but someone may try some strategy here. I don't really know what the fuel window is for this track either. And you can just see the skid marks there coming out of the final corner. I can only assume that's where the wreck happened. And no, they will not come to pit road. So we're going to quickly jump back, take a look at a replay, because it doesn't take them long to get back to the restarts here at this track. So let's find out what happened to Drew Austin, Dylan Young, and Charles Jackson to put us under the caution for the first time here today at Lime Rock. Well, we're not able to see a super whole lot here because of the hill blocking it, but you could see Dylan Young bounced off of John Cittadino, and then he's going to get hooked by his own teammate, Chris Dollerton. Car's going to go sliding down that hillside. That's all grass, folks. That's 100% grass, which means 100% no grip whatsoever. That car goes into a slide. He's just basically along for the ride wherever that grass is going to take him. And unfortunately, it's going to bring him right back up in front of traffic. Watch here. Oh, does get into Justin Talampas. Charles Jackson did indeed get a piece of it, and Drew Austin runs head-on in there. Zach Hamlin gets a piece of it. Jessica Villanueva's involved. Henry Sanford's going to get a piece of it. And, oh boy, they're all just backed up here. I think there's going to be some more drivers get caught up in this this backwash of log jamming here. Oh, Jake Rogers almost got hit in the driver's side door. Cody Hagan almost gets hit. There's Galligan moving on by. But there were some drivers that did get a little bit of damage out of that. Henry Sanford was one of them. Justin Talampas in the 17 another. But they didn't have to come to pit road, apparently. And I don't know how bad the damage is on Charles Jackson. He was right in the middle of it. So he got a piece of it for sure. Don't know how bad the damage might be on that 32. But that's certainly not what he needed here. Especially with the fact that the last road course we were at, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Charles Jackson was in the hunt for the win and finishing top 5. But there you have it. Dylan Young and Drew Austin at least going to be out of the race as a result of this wreck. And boy, that was some pretty hard racing early on. Hopefully we'll get some green flag laps in, but man, every position's counting here in this chase for the championship, and a lot of these drivers that haven't won yet this season want to get to victory lane before the season runs out too. So many different agendas, and unfortunately, some of those paths can cross each other and cause wrecks like this. But enough of my babbling on. Let's go now to the restart. Pace car getting ready to peel off. We'll go back green on lap 4 or 15. Told you that these restarts don't take long to happen. Nick Smith's the leader. Andreas Allen second. McLeod's in third. McIntyre fourth. Stephen Pollard the third. That caution helped him. He was slipping way back. He's now to fifth. Kyle Matthews is sixth. Buchanan seventh. Poteet now up to eighth. Alex Pedro ninth. And Bob Fergus will complete the top 10. As Nick Smith gets waiting on the flagman to wave the green flag once again. It is out. We are back underway here at Lime Rock. Now let's see if these guys can run some green flag laps, because I wasn't surprised the caution coming out as soon as it did, because they were double wide and you can have an opportunity for 3 wide situations which just aren't going to work out. Now with being a single file restart, maybe they'll be able to make moves a little bit easier. They'll be able to go double wide when they choose. You see already they're double wide back there as far back as, or as early as the second place, as McLeod just goes by the slipping Andreas Allen. Allen now going to lose third to Kyle Matthews. Now Levi McIntyre going to look underneath for the 4th position. There's Dylan Poteet in the 31. Right now, Dylan Poteet is the highest running of the chasers as he's trying to take, I believe that'd be the 5th position away from Andreas Allen. And here's a couple of guys who really need good runs right now. Alex Pedro and Luke Walker right now up inside the top 10. Pedro 10th in points, Walker 12th in points. They need wins to get them back in the hunt right now, pretty much, because, you know, they can take out a chaser every week, you know, close in on them, but there's so many chasers that are ahead of them. They really need victory lane, at least a couple trips maybe to victory lane before the season's out, if they're going to be even in the mentioning of the championship at the season finale at Army Digital Super Speedways. Just saw Alex Pedro slip, and I saw another chaser coming up here. There he is, Chris Washer in the 5. Now, Chris ended up having one of the most consistent regular seasons, and right now he is running in the 12th position. Oh, wow, I heard some squealing, I heard some skid marks. I don't know if we're under caution or not, but I did hear some skid marks. Tires squealing. There's a car that's teleported to pit road, but apparently the caution flag is not out. Who was that car on pit road? Oh, there's trouble. Eric and Rage, Cody Hagan. That's going to be a caution. A couple of rookies, one of them trying to get the points lead here today, involved there. And oh, the car that teleported to pit road was Jessica Villanueva. Are you kidding me? There's no caution for that? There was no caution for the wreck for Hagan and Enrage? Are you serious? Well, I'm in utter shock. That one was right there out of the turn 4 area, exactly the same area where our first caution happened, but they did not throw a caution for that. And that's going to really hurt Eric and Rage. Now the pit crew of the 14 team are not able to work on that damaged truck under yellow. They're going to have to work on it under green. And we are still green flag racing. Right now it's a breakaway at the front. Well, it was a breakaway. Now it's like a 5-truck breakaway. Nick Smith leads, James McLeod in second. Then it's Kyle Matthews, our winner from the Midsummer Classic at Eldora, Levi McIntyre, and 2-time winner this season, Dylan Poteet. We may have a battle for the lead on our hands here in just a moment between Nick Smith and James McLeod. I'd like to go back see where some of our other chasers are running, but kind of don't want to leave this. There you see some dirt kicked up there. That's going to be a visibility problem. That's from a lot of drivers having trouble overdriving that corner. We saw Stephen Pollard III do it. We saw Alex Pedro do it. A lot of drivers, even running up at the front of the field, have had trouble with that turn. And we are still green. Wait, now there's a car on pit road. I'm assuming that's probably the 14 of Enrage. Let's look. Yes, it is. Wow. That is a tough break for the rookie. Been having such a strong chase. Had an opportunity today to maybe take over the points lead. Gets caught up in that incident with Cody Hagan. We'll jump back and see what happened at some point here. Looks like he will at least be able to continue. But that is such a tough break there for that driver. Nick Smith continues to lead. So let's find out the driver that Eric and Rage was trying to run down. LJ Mills, there he is. Whoa, he just slipped up in that same corner we were talking about. Just lost a spot to Bob Jones. About to lose another one to Jessica Shelton. Crossed the line in 24th last time around. This time around will probably be somewhere around 26th. That is if he doesn't lose more spots to Cody Lamas, Chris Dollerton, and Carson Gum. All coming up behind. And look here. There's John Cittadino all the way back in 30th right now. He's got some damage on the rear of his machine. If you look at him coming off around this portion, oh, he's got left side damage. That's why his left rear is kind of stood up. So Cittadino encountering problems here. So we've had basically just about all of our chasers get involved in something or other. There you see Sean Galligan all the way back in 33rd. Third in the points. So what about Caleb Farrell? If Farrell's running well, he's 15th, but he just overdrove that corner. Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of a little bit of mix and match here. Just when it seems that one driver's doing really poorly, a driver they're trying to run down is doing poorly. So, I don't know. Will Lime Rock be a point shaker? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Whatever the case, though, right now, Nick Smith's loving every minute of these green flag laps. He has been dominating this race since taking the lead away on lap 1 from Stephen Pollard III. He has not let go of the lead yet. But the question remains, are these drivers at some point going to have to pit? We are going to have 5 to go when they hit the stripe. Right now, the top 10 are as they look. Nick Smith, James McLeod, Levi McIntyre, Dylan Poteet right now, the highest running of the chasers in 4th, with Kyle Matthews 5th. Luke Walker right now a well-needed run of 6th place. Zach Buchanan is now to 7th. 8th place is Andreas Allen, and 9th place now is Stephen Pollard III with Chris Washer completing the top 10. Out of those drivers I just mentioned, there's only 3 chasers inside of the top 10. And Eric Enrage, he's pretty close to almost going another lap down here. And there's no doubt about it, his car has definitely got to be off the pace. And if that's the case, and these leaders catch up to him, it could be quite an interesting situation for the top 6. Fortunately, right now, we cannot see Enrage in our camera shot, but what we are seeing is James McLeod roughing up Nick Smith a little bit, and I think James actually just kind of messed himself up. He was so concentrated on trying to bump and run or something on the 94 that he messed up his entry into one of those corners. You saw him kind of wiggle there. He had to try and save his truck. Now he's lost some ground on the rookie Nick Smith. There's another battle that could be shaping up. Dylan Poteet trying to continue to march his way to the front. He's already got a road course win this season. It came at Montreal. Right now trying to get 3rd place away from Levi McIntyre, but McIntyre much stronger through the final few turns, and he'll keep that position. Got a gap back here from 6th place Luke Walker back to 7th place Zach Buchanan, then quite another gap back to 8th place Andreas Allen. It's actually quite a gap from 10th on back to 11th too. There you got Pedro, Matthew Dalio, our winner from Darlington, right now in the 12th position, Trollston 13th, Trent Dunham 14th, and George Roken 15th. The one thing that we have not talked much about are the chasers, and that's because there's not very many up here battling at the front. The only ones that are really up here are Poteet, Chris Washer, Luke Walker, and Alex Pedro for the most part. Let's find out if LJ Mills, the points leader, may have made up any ground yet. He's right now in 25th. That's about where we saw him last time when we checked back. The good news for him, though, is that the other drivers that were trying to compete for the points lead with him are running worse. We already know about Eric Enrage's problems. John Cittadino is 29th, so he's closing, but he's 10 points back, so he'd have to finish 10 spots ahead of LJ Mills. And Sean Galligan, I believe, is running even worse. There he is, 32nd right now in the Blue Deuce. So this is good for LJ Mills because the other drivers that were trying to run him down for the points lead are doing much worse than he is. So his odds of maintaining his points lead, maybe growing it even a couple of points heading into next week, are pretty doggone good. And James McLeod has now been able to regroup himself and come back here to battle for the lead with Nick Smith. This time he's going to actually be able to make a move. This was the same corners he tried making a move last time and messed up, and he's going to power around the high side and take the lead. What a move there. That was almost reminiscent of what Nick Smith did to Stephen Pollard III on the very first lap. And McLeod has now gotten around Nick Smith and gone to the point. Now his teammate going to try and make the move for second. Whoa, Poteet really messed up that corner. And he may fall into the clutches of Kyle Matthews and Levi McIntyre in just a moment. So now, will the hunter become the hunted? McLeod has now taken the lead. Nick Smith, he doesn't have nearly as much time to run down McLeod as McLeod had to run him down. White flag is displayed. Was that the move that's going to give James McLeod the victory? McLeod has been winless this season in Truck Series competition, a series where he really seems to excel at. And it's this late in the season that he may be going to victory lane for the first time in Season 8. And you got to think, too, how much confidence it's going to give James McLeod, who's battling for the Mold 1 Cup Series championship in the Mold 1 Cup Series race. Nick Smith, he has not been able to close up the gap at all. As a matter of fact, he's kind of preoccupied right now with trying to just hold the second position because Dylan Poteet's trying to run him down for that spot. But James McLeod going to make the move that's going to win him the race. Perfectly placed move, and it's going to be enough to give him a trip to victory lane. James McLeod, for the first time in Season 8, will take a checkered flag and win here at Lime Rock. just got turned by the lap machine of Charles Sanford, but now he's got left side damage. But he still opens up his distance. He still keeps the distance, putting himself in second place McCurry. But all that ground he gained, he just lost right there. A